Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton with Bike 198. The purpose of this video today is to talk about something I thought I would never do, and I actually bought a gravel bike. So I want to talk to you about it. Let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I have been one of those guys that has been against gravel bikes from the very start. I really didn't get the point of them at all. There's already cross bikes, road biking, and everything else. It just seemed like another way for the bike industry to just kind of shove something else down our throat. So I've been adamantly against them. And let's go into why I think that. One, for me, it is the worst parts about road biking combined with the worst parts about mountain biking. You take the boring parts of each and put them into one bike and you get a gravel bike. For us mountain bikers, gravel roads are typically connector trails to get to some other part of single track. We'd rather not use them, but they're an efficient way to get to better downhills and better trails. And they're used as like interconnects that are really boring to ride. You only end up just having a conversation during the entire thing just to get to the next section of single track. For road bikers, the fun part about road biking is going fast. And this bike is slower at everything when it comes to road biking, whether it be climbing or descending. So if you're on the road, this is not a very good bike for you to have to begin with. And there's something really fun about going over 50 miles an hour down some twisty mountain roads. It's like riding a sport bike without a motor. And this is just not really built for that purpose. So you take the worst parts about mountain biking, combine it with the worst parts about road biking, and you end up with this gravel bike you see behind me. Anyone who's been into biking for any period of time knows the biking industry loves to just shove something new down your throat so they have something else to sell. And for me, the gravel bike really seemed like that in the very beginning. What, you don't have a single speed, you don't have a road bike, you don't have a cross bike, an e-bike, oh, now you need a gravel bike. So by the end of it, you've got 12 different bikes that the industry has all told you that you have to have by some new standard. Oh, you have a cross bike? Nope, that bottom bracket height and the geometry is not set up for gravel riding. The biking industry is notorious for coming up with new standards, new categories to try to get us to buy new things that we probably don't need. And the gravel bike for me really kind of felt in that category when it first came out. It's like, it's just too much of a mix of other bikes that they just try to one up and just make something else that you just have to get and just have to have. So if I hate gravel bikes so much, what's really the purpose of this video and why did I even get one to begin with? First off, I sold all of my road bikes a couple years ago, and there's a very clear picture of why I did this. Distracted drivers. It has gotten dangerous to ride on these roads that we used to call safe around our house. I've seen several people hit over the past couple of years, and the amount of road bikers out on the road is dwindling pretty quickly just because of the safety aspect. If someone's not looking at their phone, they're also willing to use a several thousand-pound vehicle as some kind of ram to pull you off the road. After enough close calls, having enough friends getting hit, and having seen other people get hit on the road, I hung it up. I was just done with it. It wasn't worth the risk anymore to get out there and road ride. But that took something really different away from my riding experience, and that is road biking was the only way that I could actually leave from my driveway and ride. I don't have any local trails here where I could just leave from the house, so road biking was really that way that I was able to get out and enjoy riding and stay in shape straight from my driveway and not have to drive to a trail, drive back, and make a big ordeal out of it. So it's something I could really easily do in the mornings or during the week to stay in shape and enjoy riding my bike. So this is where I get a little bit luckier than most, and it's the reason that I bought this bike you see behind me. I am lucky enough to live in an area that is filled with horse farms. And what that means is all of these roads that all these horse farms are actually built on are considered horse trails, and they're all made out of gravel. So when I started looking at Strava and some other ride segments, I was able to find routes that I could actually mix together mostly gravel roads, be 60 or 70% gravel, 30% tarmac. It made it so that I'm able to actually leave from the house on the gravel bike and get out and enjoy a ride on these gravel roads, mixing in with very little traffic to make the safety a lot higher than it would have been on a dedicated road ride. Now, this is where I kind of get the gravel bike. What I wanted was something that wasn't going to be so dog slow on tarmac, but would be really good on gravel as well. So that's how I ended up with this Cervelo Aspero. There were a couple things that I needed to have in a gravel bike, and it checked basically all the boxes, including being a stock and competitive cyclist. One, the geometry is close enough to a road bike that if I have to be on the road, it doesn't feel just really sluggish. I didn't want one that was more of a really dedicated gravel bike that had slacker geometry or any kind of suspension tied to it. What I needed was a burly road bike that had slack enough geometry that I could really bomb down gravel roads, but when I got on tarmac, it didn't feel like I was riding a mountain bike. So this one really fell into that category well. The other thing for this bike is that it is the same carbon frame they use for that entire line, except for the very top end. So it meant if I wanted to upgrade this bike over time, I wouldn't be over upgrading the frame like I would be if I was getting something that was steel or aluminum. So I've got a full carbon frame that if I wanted to really deck it out with wheels and good components, I wouldn't be over upgrading the bike. it would be right at its home because there are other models with the exact frame that run that same price point. I tell you, after the last couple of months of riding it, it is actually filling that need exactly like I would like. I'm able to get out on these gravel roads, enjoy a ride when I wouldn't be able to otherwise, and really stay away from traffic. So the real purpose for me of the gravel bike is actually to replace road biking. Because I'm not able to get out there as safely as I was able to in the past, this fills that void. So now I can finally see why people do actually like these gravel bikes, if they're using them for the same purpose I am. So guys, I want to hear what you think about gravel bikes down in the comments section below. Do you like them? Do you see any purpose in them? Do you have one yourself? Also, please be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to Bike 198 for more reviews and other videos like this in the future. And until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys, see you.